I'm Chris Duke, and this is Motorz. A common request we get from viewers who submit their ideas to the show is how to install aftermarket seat covers on a muscle car such as a Camaro or a Mustang. Now, we went to Katzkin Leather Interiors in Los Angeles to pick up a set of aftermarket seat covers for our Mustang, so that today on Motorz we can show you how to install a set of their leather seat covers on a 2008 Ford Mustang GT. Now, replacing the stock seat covers is actually easier than you think. It can be done in about a day with the help of a buddy. The benefit to aftermarket seat covers is that you can customize your seat pattern, the style, the color, or however you want for just about the same price as stock leather seats from the factory. The only real difficult thing about this installation is it requires a lot of elbow grease. Now, enough yapping, let's check out what we need to install our new skins. For this installation, you're going to need some trim removal tools, as well as a small Allen wrench, some needle nose pliers, some regular pliers, a pair of dikes, a couple of standard screwdrivers, Phillips and flat, a box knife or an X-Acto blade, a ratchet, a 15mm deep socket, a 13mm deep, 10mm socket, an extension, and also an 8mm for your battery terminal, as well as a T15 Torx bit, some hog clips and some hog clip pliers, some work gloves, and some spray adhesive, and possibly some silicone spray for the headrest. Now, a bunch of these things, like these guys, come in a kit that you can get directly from Katzkin, along with a whole bunch of hog clips. Now, we'll get started with the installation after this break. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to disconnect the negative battery terminal on your vehicle. And the reason why you want to do this is because down here on the bottom of your seat, you've got some airbag sensors. You don't want to get those things all confused when you hook everything back up later. Now, of course, before you disconnect your battery terminal, if you've got power seats, you want to make sure that you move your seats into position first to get access to those bolts that are holding it down. So do that first and then disconnect the battery. To remove the seats, you're going to need a 15mm deep socket for the two bolts in the rear and a 13mm for the ones up front. Now, you want to move your seat all the way forward, and you'll notice that you've got these black plastic covers. All you need to do is kind of push down and push on them back, and they should pop right off, revealing the 15mm bolt. Well, now a 13mm socket will work, but it actually turns out if you've got a 13mm deep socket, it's going to work a whole lot better. Once you've got your 4 seat bolts removed, you can slowly tilt the seat back to reveal these 2 wiring harnesses. There's a tab on the back of this gray and black one. You press that, give it a little push, and that comes off like that. On the yellow one, there's a tab on the side. That pops out just like that. Once you've got those removed, now you can pull your seat out. After removing the driver's side seat, remove those same 4 bolts from the passenger seat and pop that seat out too. Now, with the 2 front seats removed, got to tack the back seat. Now, Ford couldn't have made this easier. I'm going to lift this up. We already popped it off, but basically there's some black tabs on here. You just got to press those forward. They lock in right there. It's one on each side. So you just press those, this thing pops up, bam, your seat's out. Isn't that crazy? The next thing you want to do is take a 13mm deep socket. You've got 3 bolts, a center one on the left side, one over there on the right side. Once you remove those, you can pull your seat forward, they come right off. Well, we've got all of our seats removed from our Mustang. We went ahead and did the passenger side so we can show you the difference between the Katzkin leather versus the stock cloth. Now what we went with is a black leather for the outside and a pewter Tuscany that's perforated for the inside, as well as a silver stitching that goes all the way around it. Now let's get to the other seats. Start the driver's seat by lifting up the headrest by pushing this button here on the inside. You're going to get to a point where it's not going to go any further, so grab an Allen wrench, put it in this hole right here on the side. It's a little tiny hole. Once you push that in, you should be able to get this all the way out now. On the back of the driver's seat is this lever here. We want to pop this handle off, so grab a plastic remover tool, pop that off just like that. Right below that is a Torx T15 screw, so grab that, unscrew that. Once you've got that off, you should be able to pop this piece off right there. Next, flip the seat up on its side, because the next thing we want to do is we want to remove all these plastic pieces, get this larger plastic panel off, and that'll allow us to get the cloth out. To get the seat back lever off, there's a cotter pin that goes around there. So what you want to do once it's on there is kind of get in there from the side with a flat blade screwdriver, pop that out, that'll easily come right out. Now this isn't the case for the passenger side, but on the driver's side you've got a couple of electrical connections here. You want to remove those. Now for removal of the cloth and of course the new leather, we highly recommend you wear gloves. There's just a lot of sharp metal underneath these seats. Now with the stock, you're going to encounter all these tree clips. You just pop them off pretty easily. The leather is just hung on with these plastic clips around metal all around the seat. Now you're also going to get to a point here with these hog clips are tying down the upholstery to these metal bars that are going across. You need to just take some dikes and cut them off. Now Ford went ahead and did something really annoying on the side here. They pinched the stock fabric in between this metal bracket here. So grab a 15mm deep socket and back off these two bolts just enough to be able to pull this material on out. It's pinched in there, and that's on both the passenger and the driver's side. There it goes. Oh, look at that, more hog clips. When you get to these headrest posts at the top, what you want to do is go underneath and pinch them with a pair of pliers so that you can then push them up through the material. With the cloth removed, we can go ahead and put on our Katzkin leather. And it's actually pretty easy, especially on the bottom here. You just kind of tuck this piece in here between the seats, flip this up, start running this along here into this hook and latch system. This cloth sits down into that channel right there. And when you get up to the front, you've got to put some hog clips back down in there. You'll see that coming up. And when we took off the cloth seats, we also removed a bunch of hog clips. We're going to put some new ones in using this tool and some brand new hog clips. Just kind of pinch it in there. bite it in between this material and push it down onto this post. While pressing super hard, pinch it onto that post. There's going to be one there, one here, one there. Once you've done that, then you can go ahead and press this cloth material down into that channel, into that hook and latch system. Now once you've got this seated into position, you can take those same plastic clips that you've got there and put them on those metal hooks underneath. It's looking better already. Sometimes you need to really stretch this leather. This is brand new. To put the Katzkin leather on the seat back, you want to invert the leather and put your hands inside, then you'll be able to put it over the back and kind of get a feeling for where it's going to go. Now, a special note here, if you've got side airbags, be careful of this unit. You don't want to damage that or mess with it. So I'm going to turn this around a little bit. Put my hands inside. I'm going to feel for the back. I'm going to place it over the seat. Kind of feel for where the seams are and the edge of the seat, and then slowly kind of move it on. You'll note that there's this panel right here. We need to put those hog clips on, so we need to do that next before we get too carried away. Now after you've got those hog clips down in that first row, you might want to come back up here to the top and just kind of make sure everything is fitted right in there. You can take the leather and kind of stretch it around the back, move it around like that. Just get it on there real super tight. Once you've got that done, you can slowly move your chair around, go in with your hands. Again, be careful of that side airbag and push it down. And while you're doing this, put this cloth material down onto that hook and latch system right into that channel, just like that. Now again, you want to make sure that this material is down in there, into that channel, and to make sure, after you've pressed it in, you've got the material around there, you can give it this karate chop. You can see how much tighter it is now because it's pressed it down in there. I'm going to do that for both sides. Now to finish up the leather installation for the seat back, you've got to zipper it up on the bottom, which is kind of difficult. There's one part of it here, the other part's way back here. So you got to tuck this underneath the seat and pull it forward. And once you've got that back there, you're going to need a buddy to help you out with that part. Now after you've got your leather on the seat back, you'll notice that you're not quite done yet. There's this guy that's trying to pop through right there. That's your lever for the seat recliner. There's also a couple holes that you're going to need to put up at the top for your headrest. We'll do the leather on that next. So a trick to figuring this out is to actually take the cloth that you've got that you uninstalled and put that on over the back of the seat, then you'll figure out exactly where you need to cut through the leather. And you only need to put it on far enough as a guide to figure out where you got to pop some holes and to cut for this hole right there as well. Now as you can see on the back of this plastic piece that covers this lever, there's a bit of a channel that goes down in there. So we're going to go ahead and make an initial incision right there, kind of figure out where that piece of plastic is inside where we need to cut, and cut a little bit more all the way up to the top. You can use a box knife or an X-Acto knife. Just be very, very careful. There's that channel I was talking about inside. It's still kind of hard to see. You want to make sure that that leather goes around it so you can put that plastic piece in on top and screw it back down. After you've done some cutting back here on that, go ahead and keep your stock cloth on there because we also have to make some holes up here for the headrest. So I just take a flat blade screwdriver or a Phillips screwdriver, just poke some holes in here. There's one. There's two. Now we can take this cloth off, do a little bit more work on it. Now here's the headrest post that we need to put down in this hole that we're working on. The important thing to note is that we want this leather to be just big enough to come up and fit around this post right around there. Now use a sharp knife, like an X-Acto knife or a box knife with a brand new blade. You just want to cut real slow, just a little bit at a time, because you don't want to cut too much. Now, this is perfect right here. We're going to tug on this leather and have it come up over this lip, and then it will be just perfect. All right, that looks pretty good. Now that we've got those in there, we need to take care of the headrest. So first thing is, we need to take off our factory cloth, which is just kind of clipped on there in the bottom with this plastic clip. Once you get that off, and this just kind of slides off. Just takes a little bit of effort. As you'll see with our factory headrest, we've got a bag. They use that for shrinking this foam in order to fit that on there. So once we've got that off, we're going to slip the Katzkin leather on top, and if that's a little bit tight, you can heat this up inside with a hair dryer or a steamer. And if you need even more help, then you can spray the inside of that with some silicone spray. That'll help get it on there. Here's a tip when working with these foam headrests. You want to use your thumbs to basically compress that foam. That's going to allow you to get this off, much like they do at the factory when they suck all the air out of that bag. Bam, we should get that off just like that. So I'm going to take the new headrest, line it up appropriately, start working it on, doing the same thing by pressing that foam with some of your other fingers and just kind of going back and forth. Again, if it's really cold out, you might want to heat up this leather with something like a steamer. The trick here, just go back and forth. Press that foam with your fingers. Do this enough times, and you'll actually get this on there. All right, so now we've got it on there, we can kind of straighten it around. Line up that stitching with the edges. Pull it around a little bit. So it looks perfect. And once you've done that, you can tuck that factory bag in there. Take this plastic clip, fasten it on there. You're all done. All right, that looks pretty good there. We don't have any of that material sticking out. Go ahead and pop it in. And there you go. Completed seat. Now moving to the back seat of our Mustang, we're going to start with the seat backs. And these are actually pretty easy to deal with. They're just held on the bottom, here's the bottom, with a couple of black clips just like this. Just grab it with a screwdriver and they come off just like that. Start peeling it off. Now it's important to note here that you have this little pull strap here for the seat back. That's going to come out the same side on the Katzkin leather. There's actually a little hole there that they made for that. So when you're peeling this back, there's no hog clips. There's just this Velcro hook and latch system, just like the other seats. Now you can put on the Katzkin. And just like all the other seats, it's kind of the same process. And all that's left is zipping it up on the bottom. Now let's move on to the back seat where you sit. And now this thing is really light, just a lot of foam and plastic. And to get the stock cloth off, it's pretty easy. There's just a lot of these black clips that are sitting here. So just take a screwdriver or your hands just start popping them off. Once you've got all the black clips off, now you can start peeling it off. Take your new leather, slap it up on top, and you'll notice you've got a bunch of these tabs for both the seat belts as well as the child safety restraints. You want to poke all those through. And just like with the stock cloth seats, you've got a lot of these black plastic tabs that crimp on the back side. So just kind of form it as much as you can and flip it over and start clipping everything on. Well, after all your hard work putting your new leathers on, it's time to put them back in your car. Just put them back in the same way you removed them. Check out the Motorz TV website to watch all of your favorite episodes and more, and talk with other viewers online in our popular forums area. Catch the latest news and information surrounding the show, as well as the entire automotive industry. Take Motorz with you on the road with our free app available for the iPhone and iPod Touch, and win free parts by entering in our monthly giveaway. It's all right here at www.motorz.tv. Now, a new set of Katzkin leathers can make your ride look like brand new again. It gives you the opportunity to select the color combinations that you want, not something that the manufacturer came up with. As you can see, the installation isn't very difficult. It's just a lot of labor. It helps to have a buddy helping you out. And be sure to take your time so that you don't rip out the stitching, which is kind of hard to do with Katzkin because it's manufactured so well. Now, Katzkin recommends that you close all of your windows and turn on your heater for about an hour or so, and that's going to help relax the leather, make it naturally conform to your seats. To design your own skins, head on over to www.katzkin.com, and of course for more episodes of Motorz, head on over to motorz.tv. We'll catch you next time. We are recording. We are live in 3, 2, and 1. A set of their leather seat covers. Now, after removing the driver's side seat, remove. Cool. I like that.